Hey everybody, welcome back to our second video on course design. The first video we kind of got a basic course up and running. We didn't do a full playthrough, which I suggest you do, but we just got the basic course up and running, pre-designed, let the layout randomly generate. And we went through and we showed how to work with the tee boxes, the fairways, and the greens to make adjustments. So now, in this video, we're going to come back, we're going to edit it again. And we might delete a hole and put in a new one. We'll just have some fun. So first thing we're going to do, so we can see the course, is we're going to go back to the environmental settings, back to terrain. We're going to turn the trees off so we can see our course much more easily. So let's just deal with, we showed you how to move a hole last time. But let's go back. We're going to take this hole right here, hole 13. It's kind of cramping a little bit. I don't want it that close to 14th hole. So we'll go to hole 13, settings, move. We're going to move it over here. We're going to turn it a little bit, take advantage of all that space. So we just moved that hole, and we're going to move this hole. Move it so it goes around the water. That's pretty cool. And then we'll take this hole and we'll move this one just a bit over. And I'm a little concerned. I gotta look at this tee box. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. That's all right. Okay, so we've got those adjusted real quick. So we're going to go in to do a simple terrain editor. And we're going to take the landscaping tools. And we're going to want to flatten. We're going to make it round. And we're going to hit the up arrow to expand it. And we're going to use the right bumper to raise it or lower it. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit and flatten out the tee box. I don't want my tee boxes to be in holes. So while I still have that tool selected, I can fly around to all the other tee boxes, do the same thing. So you can zoom in, zoom out, find them. And if I want, maybe raise them up a little bit so that you have a better view of the hole from the tee. So this is where it can be a little time consuming, a little tedious because you're flying around to 18 holes to do this. There's not a way to do this type of work. Like apply to all of them. You have to go around and individually set the way you want these tee boxes to be. So we don't have to do them all, but we're just going to zoom around. And without the trees here, it's a lot easier to see all of your holes and find all these areas. That's a green. That's a tee box. Is that a green or a tee box? That's a tee box. Okay. So, I mean, we've hit quite a few of them. We may not have gotten them all, but good enough for this video, just to give you the idea. So now we have those in place. Suppose we wanted to really manipulate some of these holes. Like this hole's pretty straight, and it's a par 5. So if I back out of that menu and go over to my cursor and go over this waypoint. So this waypoint is determining the sort of a midpoint for the hole. So you have 3 waypoints in every hole. You've got the waypoint at the tee box. You have another one somewhere in the fairway or in between the tee box and the green, and you have another one on the green. So if you were to create a hole from scratch, when we create a hole from scratch, I'll show you how that works. So this one, I'm going to grab this waypoint, back up so you can see, and I'm going to move it like this. I just created a dogleg, right? Fortunately, you cannot create another waypoint and make like a double dogleg. There are ways to do it, but it takes a little bit more time. So we have this. Alternatively, I could say, you know what, I don't like that hole at all. It's a par 5, but I don't like that hole at all. So I'm going to go to hole settings. I'm going to delete that hole. Yep. So hole 13 is now here. So we have 13, 14, 12. So what happened is it reordered. We took 13 away, so it took hole 14 and it made it 13. So now what happened is what was hole 18 is now hole 17. And we're going to draw a new hole. And that new hole is going to start. There's 13. Here's 12. So we're going to draw another hole. It's going to start here. So what we do is we go to edit holes and we go to create. And so now it gives us a cursor where we click the X here, and that first drop, that's going to be our tee box. So we're going to put our tee box right where the other one was, because we already have a flat spot. And then we start moving it, and the next drop we get is going to be down the fairway. If you look up top of the screen, it says we're out 350 yards. So let's go. We want it to be a drivable dogleg, so we want about 300 yards, 289, roughly 300 yards. And then we're going to dogleg. If we go left, we go towards this water. So I'd like to put the green right by this water. We can always create more water too. It's no big deal. So I just dropped in this hole. How long is this hole? 515 yards, roughly. To a pretty small green with some bunkers, some water. It's kind of a narrow fairway. So I'm going to go to my fairway settings. I'm going to make this hole 18. See, that's calling this hole 18 because that was the next hole available. But really what I want this to be is hole 13. So I'm going to go to 18 settings. And I'm going to say swap hole. And I want to swap hole with hole 13. So now this is hole 13. This one should still be hole 12. This is 13. So I want hole 18 to be, where did my hole go? 1, 2, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So now I have 18 here. So 14, 15, 16, 17. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so if I say reorder hole, then I've made this now 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we just deleted a hole, we put one back in, now it is still the 13th hole, but we just made a new one and we stuck it in there. There is another way to create a hole, and that would be, so let's go to 18. So I don't like 18 being par 3. Settings, delete hole 18. Go back to generate holes, and we could create a new hole. But if we go over here to this tape measure, click on the tape measure. So where is 17 ends here? So suppose we want to create another hole, but we want the green to be next to clubhouse. It's still going to be a par 3 because we don't want to mess with the whole thing. So let's make a short par 3 right here. I want to measure. So I put my cursor where I wanted it, hit the X, and now as I use the left stick, I can see how far I'm going. So I'm out 160 yards, 150, 143 yards. We'll just go there. So all it does when we do that is it puts a line, and we know that's 143 yards. We could then go from here, we could create another tape measure, we could go like this, or like that. 126 yards. Ooh. In fact, let's do this. Let's have a little fun. I'm going to go back to our cursor. go to our measurement point, and we're going to delete that measurement point. Go back to our measurement point. Say, suppose we want to put a green out in the middle of the lake. We don't want to put a green out here. So I'm going to click that and go backwards. So I can, because I know where I want it to end. But let's see how far. Let's make that a 160-yard par 3. Now what we'll do is we'll go create holes, put our tee box here, and rather than put the next waypoint in the middle, we're going to put both the middle waypoint and the one for the green way out here. So it automatically makes the island for the size of the green and puts it out there. But it gave us all this fairway stuff. I don't care about that. So I'm going to go to my cursor and go to rough settings. So it did put in a little fairway. So we go to fairway settings, fairway width, make it 0 so it disappears. Go to the rough settings, light rough width, make it 0 so it disappears. And then we'll go back here, landscape tools, landscape flatten, circle, big circle. Raise it up slightly. And raise it up again. I'm just zoning in on it. There we go. Now we have a par 3, no fairway, to a tiny little green. That might be too small. Let's go to the green settings. Green settings, make the width a little bit bigger. It automatically expands the island to accommodate that. Cool. Looking good. And if we go to rough settings, light rough width, light rough texture, we'll just change that. So there we have a flag out there on an island green. Let's give that a play just to see. 18th hole, island green. Here we are. It's about that far. That's pretty cool. Just knock one on the green. Green roll's pretty good. It's not too slanted. Long putt, but let's give it a run. Oh, what are you talking about? That hole looks pretty darn good. All right, so there's a quick way after you've kind of built your golf course so you can get rid of a hole, you can make a new hole, you can measure out how to make a new hole, and then do a couple of basic terrain settings to flatten out your tee boxes and that. So we'll come back in another video and we'll further enhance the design golf course, and then eventually we'll publish it. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.